now. Okay. We're live now.
Okay. They said StreamYard does not have access to your Facebook account. Yeah, because it's blocked. Let me check this. Okay, that's
Wow.
fine. We didn't think it was going to go on there anyway.
Let's see. Are we live on my page? We are live on my page, but for some reason, I need to undo the privacy settings. Done.
Okay, cool. You need privacy settings?
It automatically locks, and I have to undo the privacy settings real quick.
I think that someone, I think Dr. Watkins asked me to share something. I have to go back and see, but I don't know I don't know how to share this. He asked if I could post the link to the YouTube link. Are you
Ah,
able to send it to me?
yes, I can send that to you.
Okay.
Um,
So everybody, I have on my pretty spring dress.
so cute.
Because I can fit it again. People are like, wow, you're losing so much weight. What's your secret? Stop eating. Alrighty, so we are here talking about something super duper important.
Yes, yes.
Lordy. And this level, oh, just let me know if you were able to send that so that I can go out and send it. But yeah, what this issue about, this is so deep because as some people already know, I live in, understand, and speak 5 languages. And within all of those cultures that I have actually physically lived, there are not any people on earth who view normal correction like people saying, you know what, you're fat, you should lose weight.
Mhm.
You can't say that in America. At this point, I can't even add that to the list of normal correction. This is not the correction in Black America that people are concerned with. They're concerned with even lighter things. But in Asian culture, people walk up to parents with fat children and say, wow, you have such a fat baby. Because why do they feel like they can say that? Because the baby is what? Fat. Like what? Or, oh my goodness, is your son gay? The level of directness, but with warmth and love, Black Americans do not understand because Black Americans, what? Have never left America.
Never. Never. I've set the link
Messy.
on.
So when we say that ignorance circulates in Black America, people do not necessarily know what that means. And it's very, very deep because what that really means is, for example, something like this, where people can't learn to be healthy. People are unable to learn how to be healthy. You said you one, right?
Am I muted too? No.
No, did you send the YouTube link?
Yes, to
Okay,
your
messy.
messenger.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Okay. People, for example, cannot be healthy. They can't understand what health is because they don't travel and live abroad. Even visiting for a longer extended time would be helpful. But
Mhm.
I'm so worried because we try to tell people what is normal and they're like, no, because I live in a dysfunctional world and I know what's normal. So if all Black people know that we live in a dysfunctional culture, then
Right.
why do they argue with us about what's normal? Like there's a disconnect there. You know you're dysfunctional. You know that your behavior and everything that you learn to be normal is weird. So why are you arguing with people who know the functional, healthy way of the rest of planet Earth? It boggles me. It's like the question that I saw yesterday from Mrs. Shaniqua.
Okay.
How do you know that your opinions are your own when you've been watching TV for 30 years? You know, like people are like, wait a minute, I never thought about that. You can't think about that. Your mind doesn't have the capacity to think about things that it has no frame of reference for. So when we say it's normal to be corrected, people don't even know what that looks like. They
Mhm.
think it's what we're talking about is something super extremely not personal. Like it's not one sheet of paper, it's two. They're thinking for what they're hoping it will be.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I'm super duper excited that we can get into, because with this particular subject, we can get into full detail because we are Black Americans. We can tap into the frame of reference that Black Americans have because we come from Black America. So, because of that, we can do a little translating here,
Okay.
right? So, I'm so happy that you are with us
This
today,
is gonna be fun.
Mrs. Anderson. And please, I have plenty of notes, as you can imagine.
Okay.
I don't show up without notes. But you feel free to chime in because there are only two of us, right? I'm going to find us a nice, pretty background, you know. Which one do you think we should have today?
I love our
Um,
background. They make me
yeah,
so happy. It's like a new step.
there we go. And then I'm going to just change up the little layout a little bit here. There we
Mm-hmm.
go. Oh, pretty. All
Pretty. I like it. Oh, we changed the camera settings and everything. All right.
yeah.
It's the all the
So
statues.
basically, what we're going to talk about are some key points to understanding how fatherless daughters or girls who were raised in a home where the mother had the final say.
Okay.
A lot of people aren't clear about this. If the mother had the final say, or if you went to her for the permission for things, you don't come from a father-led home. You cannot relate to understanding that correction is good for you. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
improve you. It's like having the ultimate life coach,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And by the
Yes.
person who wants you to succeed the most, your father who really, really loves you.
And your father who is instilling excellence. Like
Right,
this is what our family stands for, and this is how we're going to operate and function
right,
and move. It's
right.
huge. It's huge.
Yeah, we're talking about excellence. We're not talking about what losers do. And people don't want to understand that because a lot of people who come on to try to give advice are losers, spreading around loserville behavior. Okay?
Mhm.
Why would anybody feel threatened by such a statement when we know that Black America is dysfunctional? Everybody agrees on that.
All right.
Everybody. So let's be logical here for a moment, if you can.
Okay.
The
Turning the
first thing,
logic. Let's go.
let's go. The first thing is our people don't need more confusion by people going online talking about how we or someone else attacks Black women. First of all, Taylor, what's the girl's name who was shot in the bed? Her name
Brianna.
is Brianna, right? What was her last name?
I believe it was Taylor. Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to say it wrong, so I stopped. Breonna Taylor was attacked. That's attacked. People talking about our ladies as a culture without even mentioning your name personally and without going onto your page in our space, on our pages, is not an attack. It's correction. We have solutions. We are solutions oriented also. So even more do we need to be here to help people with their needed correction. We're not just talking, we have things that are going to actively cause people to be successful. Are you able to hear that noise in the background? That's the rabbit. Okay, let me just let the rabbit out so she can be quiet. This is a shame how this rabbit controls me. Okay, so, but we need quiet. So there we go. So rabbits can't bark. And then we have people who make the mistake of thinking that they're going to make some kind of post to counteract us talking about bonnets, laughing about it, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get into that. Okay? Because everybody knows humans sometimes, oftentimes, laugh to keep from crying. Mm-hmm. Right? But there is more. There are patriarchal, healthy reasons that we need to understand that judging is helpful. Judging is a needed part of society, and shaming too. But you know, now in America, you all have gone too far. No fat shaming, no this shaming, no whatever. I don't know what all the terms are. You all are gone too far. Shame is a normal part of culture. Shame is what stops people from doing things like that girl in the bathroom twerking on those 4 boys with her pants off. 4 little small boys. She should have been shamed, but she knows that Black America is going to cheer her on because nobody can correct the Black woman. Nobody can correct the Black woman. If somebody corrects the Black woman, they're attacking. Why is it that only Black women of every place you can think of on planet Earth, only the Black American women view correction as shame, as an attack? If I were to go up to that girl, if she was my neighbor in my apartment building, and I knew that she was next door to me, in the bathroom, twerking, taking off her pants with 4 boys ages 8 and under. Okay? That's predatory. So imagine this. You know good and well that her neighbors can hear those children all the time, and that people know what her social media account is. You know good and well they knew she was doing that, but nobody knocked on the door. Think about it. Because if that was my neighbor, I would not have been able to keep myself from knocking on the door. And if I did knock on the door, she would be completely offended. Who do you think you are? These are my children. I'm in charge of these children. These my sister's children, whoever those children were. Who do I think I am? While she is taking off her pants and twerking on 4 young boys in a bathroom. So people like to say, oh, but that's an extreme situation. It got like this because you all refused to correct Black women. It's so bad. So it is really important that we are careful not to try to co-sign matriarchal dysfunctional behavior. Because as Mrs. Anderson keeps repeating, in the mouse and the rat utopia experiment, all in the end, all
rats die. They all died.
They all died. And if you don't know what we're referring to, look up the rat utopia experiment, where they experimented to determine how to ruin our families with a budget from the government. Okay? Now we want to talk about how many people jump onto our platforms and tell us that we need to stop attacking Black women. When I cannot explain to you how common it is that people say attack. What can you
Strange.
add to this, Mrs. Anderson? What did you say?
It's strange because it's going to the extreme. And we talk about this a little bit when we discuss the bully and doormat situation. We're going to the extreme for things that are out of control. It's not logical. The men have been removed from our families so much that we lack the capability of having any reason and logic on a normal spectrum. If you're attacked by somebody who typed a word that you didn't agree with, that doesn't make any sense. It's not even possible. No harm came to you. To be attacked requires that harm was inflicted upon you.
On you, not just the general public or whoever read the post, not
Right.
who agreed with it or felt like it was something that related to them. No, harm.
Harm. That's what it means to be attacked. But because somebody didn't like what was being said, that's not an attack. You're going too
Right,
far. Okay? You're going too far. We need to come back to reality. We need to get back on the reality plane, okay? Because that's too far. That's
right,
unrealistic. People
right,
can't take you seriously anymore. People are not going to be able to think that you have sound judgment and
right.
um, reasoning capabilities, okay?
Hmm.
And here I said the word sound judgment for a reason
Right.
because we're here talking about Black America, Black women not wanting to be judged, but you need to have sound judgment so that you can make good choices in life.
Yeah, and
It's
we need to get to understanding why Black women have a problem, are unable to make sound choices. Why do we
it's
see a lot of these choices that don't seem like they bounced an idea off of anybody before acting? That's not normal. That's matriarchal. Because in patriarchy, all of the also known as all of the thriving cultures, women bounced off their ideas to men to try to see if they missed something logically. Okay? Before acting. In matriarchal culture, women do whatever they want and don't check with anyone logical. They don't check, they just act. And it's usually based off of emotion instead of logic, almost always. And what's also truly odd is that people who are stuck in matriarchy can't even seem to understand that behavior is optional. So if we say that somebody's behavior is distasteful or shameful, why do people believe that that means we're saying they're shameful when they
right.
have the choice to change their behavior at any moment?
Yeah, that's
Any
back to
moment.
it's back to upbringing, and they cannot hear the difference. It's um, they have programmed into their subconscious their mother's voice talking to them. No matter what we say to them, when we talk, they're hearing their mother or how they sound
Yeah,
themselves. And they
yeah.
take out words or add in words. This is often what happens. Ladies will add words that we didn't actually say
Right.
and come up with a whole different meaning. And we say, well, what did we
And
actually say?
they change the actual words, which is also
Change the word.
matriarchal.
Yes.
Because if I changed the words to my father, he would say, and I stopped changing the words when I was 4. because he stopped me so many times. I can only say that he said exactly what he said. So we can see that these are people who do not have leading masculine fathers. Changing up words. People didn't say that.
Right.
Whew, I'm sorry, because if you are still wearing a bonnet, shame. Shame
Shame.
on you. See, you see that? I don't even know your name. So if you're thinking that me saying, if you're still wearing a bonnet, shame on you, that I'm attacking you, and I don't even say your name, there's a problem. There is a problem there. You know, I can easily and safely say that if you feel shame because bonnets, you should, because bonnets are ruining our men. Why should we tell you to be proud of that? And when you ruin our men, you ruin our money as a people. Why should we tell you to be proud of that? Why should we just tell you, you know what? It's better if you have uncovered hair and not mention the bonnet. It's better if you have clean hair and not mention the bonnet. It's better. It's better. Better than what? Matriarchal women don't even understand things unless hints. Don't take hints at all unless you tell them directly.
Right.
We are patriarchal women. We take hints without words involved. So we can take hints, but the women in America, the Black women in America, are not good at taking hints or reading between the lines. So if we don't say what not to do, most cannot understand. They're just like, oh, she's interesting saying, yeah, I do this, I do that, I go to sleep with my hair uncovered. They view that as all optional.
And
That is
then they'll
not,
come back and say, why didn't you tell me directly? Because
why
I,
didn't you tell me? And it is optional unless you want success. And if you want success, it's not optional. If you want to be a loser, you can do whatever you want. If you want to make sure that your husband never progresses in the eyes of other men to increase his income and build his wealth for your family, then you can do whatever you want. Y'all can just be mediocre. He can have a do-rag on too. Right? So
these.
when we are judging people's behavior, which further ruins us as a whole, it's because everyone's business and Black people's business is our business and our reputation. Okay? So we need to stop saying that judging is shaming. And that, the real issue is that people don't want to be judged because they were not raised well. And because you were not raised well, you reject being judged, which means you cannot further be raised well.
Right.
When your parents correct you, you keep leveling up. You keep becoming better. That's the whole point. But if you keep rejecting correction, you don't get better. You just die a loser. Yeah,
But that's a
oftentimes, and that's a choice. You can be that if you want. Oftentimes, you will see us on video or on posts or even in person, joking and laughing to get the point across. But people need to understand that we never tag people. We didn't say your name. And that's so odd. Like, why are you talking about me? Do I even know you? What kind of, wait, you just changing this all around? Oh, how surprising. Again, right? So it's just so odd because it's our classroom. You're not going to be in somebody's classroom. Okay, maybe you would because you don't. Everybody, a lot of our Black ladies do not respect Black people. So maybe they would. But to be clear, this is our classroom. And we are here, we are teachers, and we can teach what we want. And if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. So this is really important, but disrupting our students is not acceptable.
Exactly. It's a classroom.
Hmm. Yeah, and we're not into debating with people. We're actually not. Don't come on here trying to debate. We will just remove you. We're the mother teachers, okay? We're not here for all that. We need peace. Uh, so it's important to understand that we have to strike a balance in Black America. We have to strike a balance with being fun and going to where, meeting people to where they currently are, you know, and not speaking too perfectly, you know. We have to
Yeah.
strike a balance. We really literally do. We have to be going with the flow. We have to be, you know, relatable in all of these things, because there, I cannot explain how many times people like people like to say, you know, you can just say positive things and never say negative things about Black women, even though Black women are doing 1,000 negative things. Never say negative things about us and just say positive things, and that will work. No, it doesn't.
Not at
We have
all.
not at all.
Because they
We
feel like,
try.
why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, why didn't you tell me? We
You
have
don't,
tried.
they don't want us to tell them
Right,
what they're doing wrong, but they want us to tell them what they're doing wrong.
right,
Logically, we got to get to
right.
the logic.
And we tried for over a year to just speak in only positives. This is what's great. This is what works. This is what you should do. Y'all, we had around 50 followers for over a year because people do not respond. Our ladies do not respond to that. That will work in Japan. That type of method will work with peaceful, functional people. People who are dysfunctional do not respond to that at all. They need someone. Most dysfunctional people cannot go with function. You're going to have to point out the dysfunction if you're going to care about your own people. And I love to point out the fact that we have people like Ruby D and Diane Carroll, Betty Shabazz, and Coretta Scott King, who never, almost never, never that I can remember, said anything publicly to correct Black women. And they were just graceful as they can be, focused on their families and everything. But Black America could not remember them. And Black women did not follow their graceful ways because there is a piece missing from this type of approach. The part where you care. The part where you care so much that you risk people disliking you so that they can be better. The part where you care enough to stick your neck out. That's a piece missing. So grace and being feminine and looking cute, that's just a facade. That's just the outside part. But nurturing, ladies, do not give people only what they want. Nurturing, ladies, love people enough to give them what they need. It's a very important lesson to know. So there is a popular question that a lot of people ask me when we try to explain this to people. And we have been explaining this to people, Mrs. Anderson and I, for years. And so we're going to tell you what this main popular question is. What's the difference between healthily judging and correcting someone and emotionally abusing them? The difference is if you curse, which a lot of the people who attack, who say we're attacking them, they curse people. But okay, we don't curse at people. The difference is if you curse at people and if you call people actual negative names, like ugly, beast, pig, and so forth and so on. But if you say names like, what's a good word? Fool or dishonorable or lacking in integrity, even that, they're like, you attacking me. Stop it. Stop it. learn how to level up with people's excellent correction. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
My time is worth $4,400 an hour. So if I'm taking my time to correct you, it is not, and doing it for free, it is not because I'm trying to feel better about myself. I already feel good. We are not trying to correct people because it's going to help us be successful or make money or have a good family. We already have all of those things.
Past that,
Think
way
about
past.
it. Exactly. Think about it. Mrs. Anderson and I already have healthy families. We already have generational success. We already have a lot of things that we're trying to help you all have. So why is it that we keep trying to help and people keep thinking that we're attacking them? Not because of we need the money. No, no, no. No, 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 no. It needs to be clear that there are a lot of coaches out there, and whatever the thing is, I don't know what they do because it's really too shallow for me. Talking about they're going to teach people how to be feminine and all this stuff, but they don't say the real stuff because they want people's money. That's not us. You're not going to find that here.
They want to be liked. They want that like button. That what is this? They do it for the gram or something like.
Right.
Listen, we're not here for the gram or anything else that they're here for. We're here as humanitarians for our people
Mm-hmm.
to reach out and help lift you up
Right.
because um, what is in store for our people, the destruction of Black families needs as much help as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're here for. It's
And
full.
because we're running out of time. We're running out of time. The there's another piece that needs to be discussed because there's a hypocrisy associated. The only people that Black Americans literally usually take judgment and correction for are European people. They take the correction and judgment from them, but they don't call it that. They go to court and they're not telling the judge, don't judge me, judge.
No,
No,
they're
they
not
be in
saying.
there shucking and jiving going, yes, Your Honor, more biscuits, son. You shucking and jiving for those people. They don't even care about you. Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
That's the only
We're
time
not.
that comes in high too. They'll figure out how to be real respectful under that circumstance.
Right. Oh, and don't forget, the only person who can judge me is God and white Jesus. That's more of a problem. But other black women cannot judge you. They're not qualified. They're not even white. Do y'all realize how deep this is? Get a passport. Travel. Okay? We help people travel all the time. You can still travel, and we will tell you our travel secrets. All you have to do is contact us because they're secrets and we can't tell you in public. Okay? And I want to give some examples. And Mrs. Anderson, if you can think of some examples, this will be helpful too. But I'm going to give some examples of how my father corrected me so that maybe people can learn from that.
Okay.
Okay? So, I think I'll maybe have a few points. So maybe if you have something after, that would be good. All right. So I wanted to say that it is my father. First of all, I want to say that my father has sacrificed his entire life to teach me what I teach people now. And it really is disrespectful for people to come in and try to take what we teach and act like it is, light, or that is not thought through, or that we were being too this or to that, not understanding that what I am here doing, has been passed down to me for hundreds of years. I am not brand new. My family is all about generational success. My great grandparents and my grandparents and my father passed down their information to me, not just information, but ways to operate in the Black community, ways that we need to operate to uplift our people, how to operate in order to make sure that things go in a safe direction, how to operate to make sure that the family stays being honored. These are very long term recipes, and people who don't even have a father or even a full time mother think they can hop on and know it all. No, no, no. You need to understand something really super important here. What we teach is a gift that was given to us that we hold carefully to share with you all. We're not here because we like attention. Both Mrs. Anderson and I literally hate attention. That's how we grew up. That's our normal personalities. We are both introverts, even though it doesn't seem like it. It took me 6 years to be able to joke on a video. Right? Right, Mrs. Anderson?
Yeah.
And it took me 37 years to be able to talk in public. So please understand that we are here because we are qualified. And being brand new and coming into our space or even in our comment section and disrespecting how careful we have placed things, how much strategic planning has taken place to do exactly what we are doing. It is really an insult. And so I cannot say enough. Please be careful. There is, it hurts, it breaks my heart to think about how people disrespected the great historians of Black history and their families. And so you would think that people wouldn't understand that what we do, what Dr. Boyce Watkins does, and some other key players within the current Black community, Dr. Claude Anderson, it hurts my heart to think that people would be disrespectful to such givers and not understand that they are gifting because we care. That is so disrespectful to take some of the most dedicated teachers and say, I don't like them. Well, what are you doing? How do you help the people?
They don't. They're just thinking about themselves. Like they can do what their mindset is that it doesn't matter what the other person is doing because they're not doing it. And so they're allowing it to go on and they're not understanding that here's the thing. We are women. We are women, which means
Right,
that we are nature's first teachers. If we allow dysfunctional, uncouth, unruly, horrible, horrendous behavior to continue to happen, it will continue because we did
right,
not stop.
right,
So we're not doing our role as women who are nurturers and the first teachers if we don't stop it.
right. We have to. It is our responsibility. These people, and it's so clear that they are just not raised by fathers. And you can hear people saying, you need to just worry about yourself and you need to just elevate yourself and all this stuff. That's so selfish that it's not even funny. Thinking about yourself only and only your family elevating when you can literally help other people by teaching what you know, what you solidly know as being extremely successful is selfish, you know? And if we operated like that, if we only cared about us, and if we only cared about our family's success, millions, millions of Black people would not have been helped, elevated, married, reached wealth. Millions of Black people would not have reached a successful status that they have if we kept our information to ourselves. So this concept that people should stop judging, oh, those people who say don't judge people, they want other people, everybody, to focus on themselves while they're asking us to focus on them.
Right.
How's that work? So yeah, the people who are watching this live right now, the people who will watch it later, they would not be able to have this right now if we were just focused on ourselves. So stop telling people, please. Just focus on yourself. It's selfish to just focus on yourself. Everybody focusing on themselves is why we're in the problem, having the problem that we're having right now. Everybody is focusing on, let them do what they do, and I'm focusing on myself. We have people who call themselves men and husbands say that they're not going to get involved with things that involve helping children because they need to focus on their self. And their wives, who are supposed to teach their husbands to have more compassion, they come up with this lame excuse. You said man leads, so I'm just going to do whatever he says. So now all of y'all have low integrity because, we just going to follow low integrity and people just going to do whatever. People are just going to worry about themselves.
But we said man leads, so in order to be a man, you have to have the instinct to protect and provide. And if you're leaving children unprotected, then that makes you a male. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not a man. You're not a man.
Right.
So for the wives who are confused because we said man leads, yes, we absolutely said man leads.
Right.
Not male leads.
Right. And also, it needs to be so clear that, imagine if people were to not say, you know what, I'm going to just let Mrs. Conjonois and Mrs. Anderson do all of this stuff because I don't like people going against me. I don't want to put stuff on my page and I don't want people to say stuff to me. I like the information, but I'm not going to share it because you're selfish too.
Oh my goodness.
You're selfish and you trying to make us do all the work and we're not having it. Okay. But how successful would things be for Black America if Black women just, at minimum, like other cultures, all of them on earth, if we just at least corrected negative behavior when we saw it. And if people knew that they could expect to be corrected, they wouldn't try so many things, knowing that it would be unacceptable in society. But everything goes now. No. Let me tell everybody something. If you are a woman, if you're a female, don't call yourself a woman if you're going to stand around and watch people do things that you know is going to cause harm and pain to them. Don't call yourself a woman. You're not one. You're just a female. Women help people to become what they need to become. We give people what they need. That's being a woman. We don't just give people what they want. And what they want is for you to not tell them about themselves. But that's too bad. When I lived in America, I could not watch a Black mother, because usually it's the women. I never saw a Black father hit their child. But I could not watch a Black mother hit her child. No, she's going to hear something from me. She's going to hear something from me. And I am talking about, I was woman enough to confront every woman I saw in my city who tried to hit their child when I was 14. So imagine how I am now, and I'm 44. No, you don't get to do that. You want somebody to beat your butt? That's what I would say. And then I had a team of girls standing there like, you want us to beat your butt? After a while, because New Orleans is really small, after a while, the word got around that we will be in public doing that, and people stopped trying it. Oh, yes, they did. 2 or 3 teenage girls stopped public hitting in New Orleans, at least for a decade. That's how powerful we are as not just women, as Black women,
Right.
because
Use our
their mothers are Black women, right?
Mhm. We have to use our influence for good.
Right, right. We have to use that we are influential because Black women's mothers are Black. So that's our position. We have to take it. We are not doing what we're supposed to do. We're just letting stuff go by. No, 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 no. So we also should remember that because Black America is matriarchal, you're going to always see, until we go extinct, you're going to always see that Black America rejects judging and correction, and they think it's something negative. It doesn't even matter how sweet you deliver, it will be viewed as an attack. It doesn't matter. Okay? You all know how I am. You know how Mrs. Anderson is. We try all the approaches. It does not matter. People just don't want someone to tell them anything. If we're in a department store and we tell a Black woman, oh, you know what? That magazine doesn't go right there. It goes over here. Who you talking to me? You telling me? Just that. Okay? So we need to understand that we are powerful. We can influence we're supposed to, like all other women, we're supposed to say, no, dear, no, my dear, baby, we're not doing it like that. That's how we say it in New Orleans, okay? And I want to say that when I was growing up, we literally, our father corrected us, and it was normal. We can tell that a lot of girls don't have this as normal. I even saw, when we were little, I even saw our dad, we would go on camping trips a lot and with the school, and our dad would tell another girl, you shouldn't do it like that, do it like this. And they would start shaking and crying. Just from that, because they don't have a dad.
Oh.
And he would only be talking about like how to put another log on the fire for the camping thing. So imagine, that's how you were as a child, and you grew up, and then somebody tells you that you shouldn't be wearing a bonnet. Now the sadness turns into anger. They're ready to fight over some words of correction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to give some examples here. Okay, so growing up, if one of us as a tween or a teen, when your hormones start changing and you don't realize you have to wear deodorant, those years, right? If one of us didn't smell good enough, our father would walk up to us with a bag of soap, like maybe he would have like 3 soaps in there, and empty the soap in our lap and walk away. And me and my sisters were like, guess we stink. Then we would get up and do what? Go take a bath. That's how we learned really young the standards of hygiene for men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Not for a woman, for men. The other example that I have is if one of us was overweight, our father would tell us that we could spare to skip a couple of meals. If we were out and we asked for food and he knew we were not hungry, He would be like, I know you can skip. You look like you can skip a couple of meals. And because we grew up with fathers, we would
Right.
laugh. Really, because we grew up with fathers. Oh, let me check this. We would laugh, and then we would diet and exercise until we lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other one is, if one of us was loud, he would say, I think I'm the only man in this house. Am I? And then we would all laugh and then quiet down. So then we
Right.
learned how to have boundaries with our voices too.
Mm-hmm.
If one of us came home too late, our father would get his pre-prepared 2x4s and board up the door. Now, the front door had glass on it, so we can see him on the other side.
Okay.
He would board up the door, and we would be like, Daddy, we're home. Why you just looking at us? Daddy, what are these boards on the door? And he would say, why don't y'all go back and hang out with some fatherless girls? Go back to wherever they hang out. So we would laugh and be like, guess he's serious. And then we went out and we tried again the next day to be on time. So I guess we learned not to be out doing, wrong, inappropriate things. I guess that's why none of us are pregnant before we were, of age married. I guess that's why we have respect for men. I guess that's why we don't get all upset over regular masculine protection, regular patriarchal correction.
That's deep. Deep. Yeah. So I mean, in our family, we had similar things. It really wasn't much different. There would be like, okay, um, if you got up because in the morning you need to do your greetings. And like say if you went to go ask for something before you said good morning, daddy, he would say, are you forgetting something?
Yeah.
And then you go back out and you have to leave. You have to actually leave the person. Leave, go
Yeah.
back and try again. Because it didn't count if you remembered on the spot and tried to do it. You would actually have to leave and go back and try again.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
now
why would you get mad? Why would you get mad when your dad's been doing that since you were 2? I mean, since you
I,
can remember, since the
since
earliest memories.
I can't get mad. This is, or if you, my father would say a lot. He'd say, "It's not what you say, but how you say it." So if there was something that needed to get across, I had to think about what it was that needed to come out of my mouth before I said it, so that I can make sure that it was important. You know. So yeah, but it's very similar. There was not just coming home whenever you wanted to. There was respect for the home, respect for our dad, and respect for, what he has provided for the
Right.
family, right? There was no
Right.
waste. Okay, so like if you wanted to get up, if you didn't finish something or you didn't think that you wanted to finish something, uh, they would be like, did you pay for that? Okay, you're not finished yet, right? So you sit down and, well, finish
Yeah.
eating.
I have a sister who kept breaking stuff. She
Mhm.
kept breaking stuff, kept breaking stuff. And one time she accidentally hit my other sister in the eye and she was like, oh, daddy, she hit my eye, she hit my eye. And my dad said, just be happy that your eye is not made of glass. Basically, listen, okay? We're happy. I'm going to help you and everything, but I need the one who keeps breaking stuff to be careful. I need
Mhm.
her to have some grace. I need her to get into her femininity. Our father talked to us a lot about our femininity and how we would go in public and he would say, people would call this judging, right? But he would go in, we would go in public and he would say, okay, you see most of these women right here? They want to be men and they're trying to act like men. I said, why? He said, and you see that one right there? She is a man. I mean, she's masculine. And if our Father did not judge those women in public for me to learn from, how would I learn? How would I learn so early? If he didn't point people out in public, how would I learn so well? How would I learn from the people, the person who cared about me the most?
Right.
Okay.
Which is observation. And observation is judgment.
Right.
Okay, now we're going to help with the English.
Right.
In
Right.
order to observe, you are making judgments. It's just the way of life.
All scientists have to make a hypothesis based on observation. Y'all have truly lost your mind following these Europeans telling y'all, don't judge me and slut walk or whatever Amber Rose was doing. Y'all have really lost your minds. People go very far when there's no judgment in a society. People lose their morals when there's no judgment in a society. People lose their men when there's no judgment in a society. So we're here to judge y'all, and we're going to judge y'all all day long, every day, because we love you. We're going to thicken up the judgment, okay? We're going to laugh at it. It's going to be funny. And if you don't want to be laughed at, just like a stinky person in a 5th grade classroom who gets laughed at and does what? Goes to take a bath. They decide to be more clean. Every parent who has homeschool children know good and well that some of that negative peer influence, those negative peer interactions, are helpful to making sure that your child is not a complete social disaster. Everybody knows that. The same thing applies to adults. Because literally, if your 5, 4, and 5, and 6-year-old did not go to school, they will, and nobody made any reaction, every time they dug in their nose and farted, they will keep doing it in public. It's society that stops them. Is bullying fine? No, bullying is not fine. But people being disgusted when people eat their boogers is a normal thing that stops the booger eaters. Okay? Let's stop it. And another thing I want to say, for my personal closing, I don't know about Mrs. Anderson, but for me, I want to say that it is super important to constantly remind yourself that Black America needs actual professional therapy. There are things that are so incredibly dysfunctional that most people will fight tooth and nail to defend. Even something so weird as washing chicken. Yeah, I said it. The washing chicken thing. You want to wash chicken and not wash your hair. Yeah, I said it, and I'll say it again. It's dysfunctional slave behavior to wash your chicken. I bet you didn't know that. If you did know that, you only know because you took real culinary classes, or a hygiene class was required at your job, or you actually left the American continent. Okay? No, so let that be an understanding. There is a lot of dysfunction going around. So much dysfunction that you will cause an outrage on the internet if you say that chicken shouldn't be washed when nobody washes ground beef. Why not? If the meat needs to be washed, why are you not washing the ground beef? Why are you just throwing that dirty ground beef directly into the pot?
Come on
Lies.
now. Bring it back to the
Lies.
light ground. Bring it back.
Lies. So, Mrs. Anderson, would you like to close by saying anything?
Oh, I didn't know we were finished. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we want you all to accept that there is judgment because rejecting judgment is your attempt to escape responsibility. You don't want to be held accountable. That's why you have a problem with the word judge. But we're here to nurture you, to love you, and help you understand that you need to rise to excellence. And to that excellence, we're going to point out the dysfunctional things in our culture that absolutely need correcting because it's important for our people to be able to survive what is coming next.
What is coming next? We could tell y'all what is coming next if you were able to take correction. If you're not able to take correction, you'll just have us rowing the boat while you're sitting there. So we're not inviting you with us. Okay? So there you go, everybody. I think and I hope that people get it, that we're going to keep judging. And that if you tell me that I'm judging black women, I'm going to say, thank you very much. And if you tell me that I am degrading black women, I'm going to say, what are their names? All righty. We live in reality here. We are not just parroting things that we saw on the TV because Mrs. Anderson and I do not watch TV for over a decade. So we're not giving you information that you have heard. We're teaching you reality where we live. Okay? We need people to understand that if you have been living in a world where you watched any TV, you have ideas in your mind that were given to you, and now you call them your personal opinion. They're not your personal opinion. They are the opinion of the government who has decided what you are supposed to think as a black person or as a person of another ethnicity and how you're supposed to behave. So Mrs. Anderson and Mrs. Grandgenois are not people who even understand what you're talking about when you start repeating things from the TV. We cannot relate because we don't watch the TV. So you have to understand that what we're teaching you is opposite of TV because the TV is for keeping you enslaved. It's not for entertainment. What we're going to try to do for everybody is have more and more content so that you can understand how much you need to get to wife school and husband summit and complete the whole thing so that you can be re-raised. If you're wondering where to start, you start with the super parenting course. We cannot say this enough. Start with the super parenting course. Okay? There are 3 parts. The first one is $158. You can afford it. You paying for all that entertainment? We know you can. And this is an investment that you need. You need to understand who you really are and how to heal yourself. The super parenting course is how you heal yourself. It's how you begin to heal yourself. We're not kidding. It is thoroughly designed to make sure that people get a great start to going where they need to go with a healthy, happy, lastful, joyful life and family. So I do not want to keep going. I do want to make sure that people know that they can go to blackwealthu.com and that they need to start with the super parenting course. So
Yeah.
someone said, "Hi, Mrs. Rowe." Okay, first of all, my name is Mrs. Grandchenois. If you cannot say that, say Mrs. G, because you are disrespecting my husband by saying the wrong name. Okay? What is your advice for women with low self esteem? The first thing that women, because this is a really common thing, this is not one person, and the women with low self esteem need two things. First, the super parenting course, reparent your thinking. The second one, and heal yourself. And the second one is how to self love. It is a course. There are two: super parenting and how to self love. Okay? Um, and that is all. And I know that it has been a moment since you said anything, Mrs. Anderson. Did you want to add something?
That's no, I had that.
Mrs. Anderson doesn't need to have the last word, and we are similar in that way. Okay, bye.